Good morning again, architecture students. Today we're going to talk about the draw panel in AutoCAD. All right, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth than I did in the classroom, so just watch and see what else shows up here. Okay, in the draw panel, we know this is the draw panel because it says draw right down here. On the draw panel, we have a line tool, we have a polyline tool, circle tool, arc tool, rectangle tool, and if we click on the drop down arrow next to the rectangle tool, we will see that it is also a polygon tool. Then we have the ellipse tool. If we click on the drop down arrow, we have several different types of ellipse, and then we have the shading or the hatch tool. Anytime you see a drop down arrow, that means that there are more tools underneath that one default tool. So for example, the circle tool has 6 different circles that it can draw, or 6 different types or more or less ways of drawing a circle. Same with the arc. The arc has 9 or 10, actually 11 different ways that it can draw an arc. I'm not going to go through each and every one of those, but I will kind of explain the verbiage on those as we go along. Okay, the line tool is real simple. It draws a line. So if I click on the line tool, then bring my cursor into the drawing field, you can see that the dynamic input, which is right next to the cursor, it's following my cursor around, it has some special instructions, and it says to specify first point. So it wants me to click somewhere to give it a point or type in a Cartesian coordinate. Okay, so I could probably type in 10 and then hit the tab button and type 10 again and enter, and that Cartesian coordinate, which is right here, 10, 10, that's where that line will start. Down in the command line is also the same instructions that you see on the command line most of the time, with a few extra options, such right here says undo. Okay, some drawing tools have more options out to the right down here in that command line. Okay, so if I'm going to draw the line, let's say I am drawing it out to the right, you can see that there is one box that is lit up or highlighted with blue, and that one is asking me for a distance. I can type in a distance, or I can simply just drag and click somewhere to establish the next point. But let's go ahead and type in 10 for a 10 unit distance. Okay, so that's a 10 unit long line, and I still have the line tool attached to it, so I can continue drawing. But let's not do that right now. Let's hit the escape button on the keyboard and get out of the line tool, and let's talk about editing this line. So I'm going to click on this line. Now, if you see how I hover over the line and it lights up, that means it's ready to be selected. Okay, I can click on it and it will select that line. And what's selecting it is that little square in the middle of the crosshairs. If you look there, there's a square. Look closely. The center of the crosshairs. That is called a pick box. Okay, we'll call that a pick box. Hover that over the line, and once the pick box gets over the line, it's ready to be selected. So I can click and select that line. And that line lights up, and it has these grips on the ends, and it has a grip in the center. Those are editing grips. So I can click right here on this end grip and I can stretch it. Okay, I can stretch it however far I need to, or I can type a distance to add to that line. So if I want to add 3 units to that line, I can type 3 and then hit the enter button, and I added 3 units to that line. If I click on that line again, you can see that there's another box that is a total distance box, and that is right up above the line, about the center of the line. It currently says 13 units. I can hit the tab button and go straight to that box, and maybe I want the total distance of this line to be 15 units, and I type in 15 units and hit the enter button, and it gives me a 15 unit line. Both grips on both sides work the same way. You can subtract a distance from this line. So I'm going to click on this end grip, and I'm going to pull it in the direction that I want to go, so it understands that I want to subtract. And let's say I subtract 2 units from it. There we go. It just subtracted 2 units, and I think I'm back down to a 13 unit line. All right, I can also grab this center grip and move the line anywhere I want to go. And what I did is I clicked on that center grip. Okay, so I click on that center grip and I can drag it anywhere and place it, and it'll stay horizontal just like that. Okay, now if I want to drag it a certain distance, let's say I want to drag it up 2 units from where it currently is, I type in the number 2 and hit the enter button, and it moves it up 2 units. But let's say I want an angle on this line. I can click on this end grip and I can drag the cursor around. Okay, and let's say I hit the tab button. 1, 2, right there. Okay, I'm at 13 degrees right now, or around 13 degrees. But let's say I want it to be at 45 degrees. Hit the enter button and it goes up to 45. Okay, now let's say I want to pull it back down again. So I'm going to click on the end grip. I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to tab over to, again, twice, 1, 2. Now I'm in the degree box there, or the polar angle box. Okay, so just remember that, polar angle. I'm going to type 0 to go back to 0 degrees. Boom, now it's back at 0 degrees. Everything I'm doing to this grip over here, I can do with this grip over here. Okay, so that is all there is to using a line and editing that line. The next video, I will go over polylines.